Welcome back to Not the Grub Street Journal, where the reading list is longer than the summer and the politics are older than the scandals.
Today, we're covering work from Roger G. Lewis, a library announcement that doubles as a reading guide and a political post that maps decades of electoral maneuvering through a very particular lens.
So, books you can actually buy and power you probably can't escape. Let's start with the library shelf.
The prompt here is simple and seasonal. What do you read on holiday, and where do you get it? The DoughForge EPUB store at doughforge.org is the answer. The whole library at $4.99 per title, with one entry point that costs nothing.
The post puts it plainly. I love reading on holiday. A cold drink and a decent book by the lake, pool, or seaside. Text-to-voice earbuds are offered as an option, then gently dismissed.
Right. The post notes the ebook ready voices can be a little wearing, not exactly easy on the ear, and comes down firmly on the side of turning actual pages, which is also, quietly, a pitch for the paperback shelf.
20 paperbacks available through Barnes & Noble, and the entry point is the DoughForge identity. Free to download as an EPUB, and described as the short introduction volume to the Conquest of DoughForge.
David Malone's foreword to The Conquest of DoughForge frames what the reader is holding as a tool rather than just a text, a second read book that is the experience it describes. That's the sharpest claim in the catalog. The book performs the thinking it argues for.
The paperback shelf post fills in the scale. 20 print titles, 803,560 words, the equivalent of 10 standard novels, with The Conquest of DoughForge wave alone accounting for 345,360 words published in a single month.
The CityCam trilogy, the Circle of Blame series, Naming Usury's Tyranny, The Unfair Index, they're all there. The post also notes one title, The Fair Index, is currently blocked on the print distribution platform and needs an alternative route.
A library about artificial scarcity held up by an actual distribution bottleneck. The irony is doing real work there. And that brings us to the political territory, where bottlenecks are less technical and considerably older.
The political post asks a structural question. Does it matter who wins an election if the underlying factions stay constant? The title, Truss, Burnham, Bercow, Meet the Old Boss, Same as the New Boss, signals where this is going.
The post maps every UK general election from 2010 to 2019 against a taxonomy of global factions. US exceptionalists, UN globalists, EU federalists, and finds the candidates sorting themselves into pre-existing slots, regardless of party label.
The post puts it directly. The surface of politics as presented to us as an electorate absolutely does not reveal the infrastructure around the UN and the NGO infrastructures surrounding what is revealed, is a fraction of what is really happening in terms of continuity, global governance.
So the argument is that electoral outcomes are downstream of something older and less visible, a continuity layer that persists across governments.
The post ranges wide. The Scandic model, the assassinations of Olof Palme and Joe Cox, Brexit, the Inter-Parliamentary Union's 130th anniversary reception in Speaker's House. Bercow's presence in the title connects to that IPU thread, the parliamentary infrastructure that runs beneath the electoral surface.
It's a notebook more than an essay, but the through line is consistent. The boss changes, the structure doesn't.
A library built to argue against artificial scarcity, and a political post arguing that electoral change is itself a kind of managed scarcity, of real alternatives.
Same diagnosis, different departments. Next time, we'll see what else is on the shelf.
Welcome back to Grub Street in Exile, the podcast edition. Today we are not reading the prose, we are reading the pictures. Right, because the post is called Drafts, Pictures, Klein Bottles and Fridges, and everyone's going to read it as an essay about money. which it is. Larkin's money. The Bank for International Settlements has the committee that decides what name gets given to airy nothing. The elephant that doesn't fit in the topological fridge, no matter how many branches of mathematics you throw at it. But that's the prose track. The image track is doing something else entirely. 94 pages. About 140 embedded images. And they don't illustrate the argument. They run alongside it, almost as a second, silent argument. Walk me through it. First 15 or so pages, it's furniture. The spitting image clip of John Major, the grey man of Downing Street. The children of Job Card, Jason and Mrs. Horsley on Candace Owens, and the second Matrix. The Midsummer Night's Dream reading card. All on brand, all expected. Then it turns. Pages 18 through about 48, you get the Hyperland blog listing, David Malone's back catalogue, Golem 14, Proof of Life. Then it tips into a long run of desktop screenshots and 16:9 video thumbnails. And that's not the strange part. No. The strange part is pages 49 to 82. Suddenly the aspect ratio changes. Tall images, 965 by 1536, 1024 by 1536, a scrolling capture over 2000 pixels tall. Phone screenshots. Of what? Of a live Google search session. Kubrick and Spielberg's AI. Artificial intelligence. The AI overview panel. Reddit threads. r/Stanley Kubrick, r/movies. Wikipedia snippets. YouTube results about the ending nobody understands. So somebody fell down a research hole about a robot child who wants to become real, in the middle of a post about money being airy nothing given a local habitation and a name. That's the whole thing, isn't it? Kubrick started it, died before he could finish it, Spielberg finished it as a tribute, and everyone still argues about which parts belong to which director. Same as money. Nobody agrees who's actually driving, but everyone agrees the ending is unsettling. The images aren't decoration for that argument. The phone capture sequence is the argument. It shows the live act of falling down the hole, not the conclusion of it. Which is very on theme for a chapter called The Elephant in the Fridge, a math comedy. And it closes the way it opens. Back to the John Major sketch. The peas are good tonight, dear. Grub Street in exile. We'll be back with the transcript once someone builds a proper microphone rig instead of two robots arguing about Klein bottles. The Klein bottle was always there.